Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together live here on Facebook at 10:30 in the morning, where we take a look at the latest headlines, news items that are going on, ideas that you may have on how to best take advantage of our destination as an English-speaking community. It is always great to get together with everyone on a daily basis, and it's always great to welcome new faces that join us on a daily basis. And if you are new, please let us know by writing your name in, by writing the word new in your comments. And if I seem a little distracted, is because my computer is acting up a little bit. So this could be one of those legendary days in which the computer decides to misbehave. I'm hoping that's not the case. But it seems like I lost all my headlines. So I'm going to have to wing it today, because even though I have the headlines all nicely and selected, they seem to have disappeared. But you know what? I think I can tell you exactly what I wanted to tell you without much complication. But before we go there, let me take a quick look at who's here. It's always great to welcome familiar faces like Bill, who's always watching, and Trucha Danzante, who has a way to evoke all kinds of memories from past music and television and things like that. And speaking of music, I wonder if you had a chance to listen to that dreadful duet between Luis Miguel and Celine Dion. I am ready to defend myself in disliking it whenever you say so. Good morning to Doug from Cincinnati, and good morning to Dan from Mississippi. It's great to see folks from all over the place. And good morning to Thomas here in Puerto Vallarta. Let's take a quick look. Hope you got your running around for the day out of your system. It's going to be a scorcher. I haven't looked at the weather just yet, but we will definitely take a look at it because it is Thursday. It's almost the weekend. Anyhow, we get together every morning. We talk about things that are important. We try to keep things positive, and we try to send positive vibes to friends of ours like Tapia, who's convalescing from an organ replacement. He had a spare part taken out of his wife, and they're both recovering, and we keep track of that, and we're always happy to see that folks are doing good. JR says that the duet between Celine Dion and Luis Miguel was bad. Of course it was bad, and I can tell you why. And this is great news. Oh my God, Sade is putting out some new music. This is great news. Oh my goodness, we're getting all over the place here. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to suggest, let me see, how can I do this? Let me keep talking to you while I try to open my news and see if I can actually um, make this happen the way I like to make this happen. I see another comment through the corner of my eye that you did not like um, the duet from Michal. Okay, so we're gonna do the news in a funny way today because they may seem like very similar to you, but they're slightly different to me just because, again, my computer was acting up. But we're ready to improvise. We're ready to improvise, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Watch me. Ha! There we go. So yesterday we reported that sporting fields and places where people can go and exercise are finally reopened in Puerto Vallarta, and this made a number of people very happy, especially those that train across the street from the Sheraton Hotel. There's a very popular facility there with a track where a lot of people like to congregate and exercise. It's not only for professional sports people, of course. A lot of regular folks like you and me enjoy going out to walk and exercise, and this is good news. I personally find it difficult to see how outside in a place like this one could be at risk for COVID-19, but understand that ultimately it is the authorities that have the last say on these kinds of matters. I'm just happy that we're allowed increasing access to our surroundings. It was also nice to find out that in Nayarit, restaurant capacity is finally being increased to 50%. We know that Nayarit has continued to have a very cautious posture as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Beaches are still not open. The governor has been very, very concerned and has chosen not to open other types of businesses. For example, health clubs are not open in Nayarit just yet, but it is nice to see that restaurants are going to be able to continue their increasing ability to make more business or to obtain more business. And of course, we reported yesterday and the day before that Hugo López Gatell is anticipating that all, if not all, most of Mexico's states will be in the green by October. But he emphasized again, this will only happen as long as we continue to follow sanitary guidelines. Sanitary. I cannot even pronounce that. Oh my God, the gal that was correcting people on how to pronounce brand names in English got so much flack on social media, it's not even funny, but I'm not even gonna bother you with that. Let me take a quick look at some of the other news that I have for you. And again, I'm glad I'm winging it. I love it. So here we go. We have also to report that the highway from Puerto Vallarta to Mascota, this is the highway that goes to San Sebastián del Oeste, continues to show landslides, which is really unfortunate because only a month ago, Governor Enrique Alfaro was commenting on how good a job they did with repaving this highway. And indeed, it is beautiful to drive through as we drove it just a few days ago when we went to San Sebastián del Oeste. But of course, no one can predict what Mother Nature is going to do, and Mother Nature continues to be doing what they enjoy to do, what it enjoys doing, which is creating landslides. And of course, this happened again. Does this mean that you shouldn't head in that general direction? Of course not, but certainly you want to drive carefully as you do that. Something else that's really good news, perhaps not for us directly, but definitely for our state and for definitely for the city of Guadalajara, is that the third subway line or light train line in Guadalajara is about to open. This, of course, has all kinds of positive implications for the public transportation system in Guadalajara. but it also has some implications for those of us that enjoy um, doing. Let me see if I can close that. Let's see. Can I do that? No, I cannot do that. I want to close this window. Anyhow, those of us that frequently go to Guadalajara, oftentimes what we do if we're traveling by bus is we get off on the Zapopan terminal, which is somewhere around here, or you can go all the way to the new bus terminal, which is over here. Now that the new subway line is about to be launched, you can actually take the bus all the way over here and go into downtown where all the fun is by simply hopping on the subway. Now, again, I'm mindful of the fact that as I'm telling you this, we are all very concerned about public transportation and safe distancing and things like that. So rest assured that I'm not here suggesting that you travel to Guadalajara tomorrow and hop on the subway. Clearly, this is something that we all need to do on our own time and as long as we feel comfortable with our surroundings. But it'll be nice to know that the next time that we go to Guadalajara, we will be able to take advantage of this new subway line that connects important areas from Guadalajara, such as the downtown area and the Tlaquepaque shopping area, which is extremely popular with English-speaking folk in the city of Guadalajara. We also find out that movie theaters are hoping that they're going to be able to increase people going to the movies, given the fact that shopping centers are now open on weekends. And this brings me to today's poll, which I cannot show you because, again, my software is not working properly. But I'm just wondering, how ready are you to go to the movies at this stage of the game? I am getting pretty close. I've decided that my first movie outing is going to be Tenet on September the 10th or shortly thereafter. But I'm just wondering how comfortable you are feeling. Of course, more and more of us are getting reports from folks that have been going to the movies, and that it's okay. I mean, the movie theaters are not getting that many people, so it is something that we're going to continue to check out as we move forward. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let me take a quick look at your comments and suggestions before we move on to other headlines that I have ready for you. Let's take a quick look. I'm going to scroll through everything. I forgot to remind you that if you have important comments to share, to please add the letter Q, otherwise we might miss them. But that's okay. I'm scrolling. Sherry is in the 90s in the Ozarks. Hello. Let's take a look. Questions. Sometimes winging it works better, and I appreciate your patience on those days in which technology is not on my side and I have to improvise. Let's see. Nice haircut. Thank you very much. And I didn't get busted like Speaker Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi apparently got busted at the beauty parlor where she removed her face mask and somebody videotaped her and she was having a hissy fit. Then it turned out that the people that, well, it's complicated. It's U.S. politics. Let's not go there. Bam, ba-dim, bam, boom, bam, bam. Let's see. An idea for businesses here in Vallarta, especially restaurants, sell gift certificates. People can buy as gifts. That is a great idea, Susan. I know that I have a couple of business friends that are doing something similar to that. But that is a great idea for restaurants and businesses to sell gift certificates that can be redeemed later on. Karen says not comfortable going to the movies. Holly says we will wait. No way to the movie theater at this time, says Terry. I personally, I'm not certain that I'm ready. Michael Goll asks, where is my favorite place in Puerto Vallarta for chiles rellenos? Wow. My favorite place for chiles rellenos just closed, and that would have been El Arrayan. But I hear good reports of Mexican-style chiles rellenos. I wonder if Michael Buford has them in his restaurant Poblanos. I've heard that No Way Jose has them. And there's another Mexican restaurant in El Centro, and the name escapes me. Maybe you can help me out. It's like right behind Telas Parisina. And they also have good chiles rellenos. I haven't tried any of them. And again, this is not very fancy for many, but I've heard great remarks about the chiles en nogada that you can buy pre-made at Costco. I'm not suggesting that you not try some of the local restaurants, but that's what we have. Um, Sherry asks, do the movie theaters ever show their movies in English? The answer to that is all the time. In Mexico, I don't know where you're watching us from, Sherry, but here in Puerto Vallarta, you can choose to go to the movies in English with Spanish subtitles, or you can choose to go to the movies when they're dubbed. I'm talking, of course, about movies whose primary or original language is English. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. I would go to the movies. I have children, so you can't scare me. That's very funny, Susan. I love it. That's a great attitude. Terry comments on Pipi's Chili's Rellenos. That's really good. No, that's really good news. Um, um, Paul comments, all my flights were only slightly more than full. Paul was just here in Puerto Vallarta, just returned to Boston, so he could probably do a movie theater. That's a great way to look at things. Um, and Michael comments, Café de Olla is great for chiles rellenos, and they have great Mexican dishes. So I would think, oh, Gabi, thank you very much. That is the name of the restaurant that I was missing. Thank you very, very much. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so that takes care of most of your comments. Let me very quickly switch over to the weather. Okay, so let's take a look. We are at 28 degrees Celsius, and it feels like 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 82 degrees. Humidity is not as high as yesterday. It's only, he says, 82%. There is no chance of rain for today. And the weather forecast tells us that it's going to be humid and partly cloudy through the day. And tomorrow we can expect rain in the evening and overnight. That'll be nice. And the same thing for Saturday. So we will have some rain during the weekend. Hopefully it's not crazy rain. We want it to rain with enthusiasm, but not so much that things get out of hand. And we don't want any drizzle because drizzle only seems um, to increase the humidity around here. I see even more comments about chiles rellenos, and this is great news. Of course, let me make sure that we are on the same page as far as chiles rellenos. There is such a thing as chiles rellenos, which are available in Mexico year around. And they're usually poblano peppers that are stuffed either with a meat filling or with cheese for those people that don't enjoy eating meat. They're usually, oh gosh, capeado. You know, when you cover them with flour and then you fry them and then you serve them over a red tomato sauce. That is the traditional chile relleno. This time of year, however, because it's the Independence Month, this time of year it is quite customary to serve chiles en nogada. And at some point during this month, we will be talking about the history behind this very emblematic Mexican independence related dish, which is such because it was created by some nuns in the state of Puebla. And these nuns decided, well, let us welcome the soldiers that are going by accordingly, and let us prepare them a dish that includes the three colors of our flag, which is green, red, and white. And this is how chiles en nogada came about. You read a lot about them this time of year because, again, they are in season. You are wondering, well, what is specifically in season? Well, what is in season in Mexico is pomegranate, and pomegranate represents the red color of the flag, and it is an essential ingredient on chiles en nogada. So there's my little quick and dirty on chiles en nogada that I wanted to share with you. Let's see. We have more headlines. Oh, let's continue with Mexican things, I found this great article that I think you will very much enjoy, which is the essential guide to Mexican pan dulce or sweet bread. I found this in El Universal, and it is written in English. Yay, English! And it has all the names of the most traditional types of breads that you can find at the supermarket or at the bakery, like a concha, which is perhaps the most popular sweet bread, an oreja, um, besos, and so forth and so on. I am sure you're going to enjoy this article. And in case you're wondering where does this artistry of Mexican style sweet breads come from, and of course it comes from the French. Well, initially from the Spaniards who conquered America. The Spaniards brought flour to America, and this is how bread became what it is today. And of course, later on, when the French came to America, well, they brought their pastry chefs along with them, and this is how we inherited this wonderful French tradition of making bread here in Mexico. I want to also, and we will be talking more about all these Mexico related things during the month. I'm getting together all kinds of fun facts. I promise you that during the month of September, we will be talking about all kinds of Mexican cultural things that make our country wonderful and so forth and so on. I am very excited about that. And I'm more than anything else, I am very excited um, about the fact that you appreciate that. Logan asks, do we know if the nuns enjoyed pedos de monja cookies for dessert after creating their chiles en nogada? Oh, Logan, I am not prepared to answer that question because I don't have all my facts in front of me and I don't want to make things up. But the pedos de monja cookies also have a French origin, and there is a French cookie. I forget the name. And again, I've read this before. I want to prepare this better. But pedos de monja literally means nun's farts. And these are the very wonderful small bite-sized cookies that are covered with confectionery sugar that Cookie Lady sells, for example. So we will be talking about all these things in days to come. Paul chimes in. He's heading to Corrales and Chimo to deliver despensas. This is wonderful. Paul and his team, Paul, Chris, and his team continue um, to push this effort to provide um, communities in need with much needed food and support during the COVID times and also during all these torrential downpour times. So we will be, of course, sharing the URL or the website where you can contribute to this important fundraising effort. I want to follow up on our friend. Well, he's not my friend, but he is this guy. Okay, so we had reported that this guy, Luisito Comunica, who's a very important, well, important, is that the word? No, he is a very well-known Mexican YouTuber, was hired by the Tourism Bureau here in Puerto Vallarta to do some promotion for the city, and the promotion results were questionable, and now he's under hot water again because he published this photo on his stream. He's posing next to his girlfriend, apparently, and he's holding this bottle of mezcal, that's similar to tequila, and the mezcal brand is called Your Ass Will Be Mine. So this is the guy that was hired to represent Puerto Vallarta in its best view, and of course, all the people that a lot of people felt that this was a very offensive thing against violence against women in Mexico, and he was chastised for being machista, and rightly so. He then apologized and then decided to dress up in drag, and I don't know. All I want to say is it is so important that we are mindful with our comments and with the way we communicate about the fact that there are some issues that are very vulnerable these days. And of course, one could make the opposite mistake and be so completely politically correct that things lose the spontaneity. But in this particular case, most people were against him because of what he posts, that very offensive photograph with the alcohol and his girlfriend's butt sticking out. Anyhow, one more headline that I want to share with you. Netflix is announcing a movie based on the Challenger explosion, which of course took place in 1986. I'm going to share the trailer for this for you so that you can watch it. This is actually not a movie; it's a 4-episode series. So that we can take a look at that in our own time. I remember exactly where I was when that happened, and it was not easy news to handle. Let me take a quick look at your comments, and then I will. Let's see. Well, hold on just a second. Na na na. G-rated are usually the only ones you cannot find in English, says Thomas Simon. Usually the cartoons. It's interesting with the cartoons, the animated movies, the dubbing has become so good in the major studio animated films like Pixar and Disney and so forth and so on, that as a bilingual person, I find myself watching them in English and loving them, and then watching them in Spanish and also loving them, because the subtlety of the humor, sometimes it's different, and it is really, really wonderful. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, how wonderful. Sherry Cooper says, a mama and a baby deer just walked into our front yard. How lucky to see something like that in person. And Gigi tells us the name of the monks, the monks fart cookies in French. And yes, those are the ones. Let's see. Candace chimes in, good name for mezcal. Absolutely, the name is very funny, but the context in which it was used was probably not the smartest one. Anyhow, this is pretty much all I have for you today. I am ready to tackle the duet between Celine Dion and Luis Miguel, or I can give you a more comprehensive. No, fuck it. Let me just tell you quickly why I hated it. Okay, if you're interested, I certainly hope you're interested. If you haven't listened to it, Luis Miguel went and recorded It's Impossible with Celine Dion, a duet that is as tasteful and as colorful and as dynamic and as interesting as a wet paper bag. Let me tell you why. Well, first of all, the song was composed by Mexican composer extraordinaire Armando Manzanero, who is the most prolific Mexican romantic ballad composer. He has over 400 songs that he's written. His first charting song was composed when he was 15. At age 19, he was inspired by an executive at RCA Records to put out his first album. Probably his two most well-known songs in the English language are Esta tarde vi llover, which in English is known as Yesterday I Heard the Rain. There's a great duet between Tony Bennett and I don't remember whom of that song. And It's Impossible, originally in Spanish called Somos Novios. And the song is a beautiful song. It was the lyrics in English were put together by a songwriter who created these very beautiful metaphors, lyrics about how it's impossible not to love someone. Anyhow, I found the recording to be very devoid of personality for a couple of reasons. Let us just say that I think Luis Miguel is a very talented singer with a limited range, and I'll explain that in a second. And Celine Dion is a very talented singer with a gorgeous range. And what I mean by range is, well, consider your ceiling fan at home. Luis Miguel can be compared to a ceiling fan in the following regard. If you have a trusty Copacabana ceiling fan at home, you turn it on and you know it's going to work fine. My Copacabana has 4 settings. So I can have a very quiet breeze flowing over me, or I can have a really crazy breeze flowing over me. Luis Miguel, unfortunately, is not as versatile. He only has an on and off switch. So when he opens his mouth, he sings very well, but he only sings at one volume. He has no range. He has no ability to sing softly or subtly. And this becomes quite evident in this song, and for that matter, all the songs that he puts out. If you listen to Luis Miguel's recording of Besame Mucho, for example, which is a very tender song that a woman sings to a man saying, or a man sings to a woman saying, kiss me, as though it will be the last time you'll kiss me. When you listen to Luis Miguel's version of this, he is just like screaming out the lyrics because it's a disco version. And it sounds more like he's trying to revive his girlfriend after an all-nighter of drinking and binging and drugs. It's like, besame, besame mucho. Anyhow, this is my personal problem with Luis Miguel. And this particular recording is unfortunately lacking any kind of spirit or soul because they never recorded together. He sang his part of the song. She sang her part of the song. They never had any kind of harmony singing together. I mean, Andrea Bocelli has recorded the song and as a duet, and he has had beautiful harmonies with other singers. Anyhow, what I thought about the song was how disappointing that these very talented vocalists, and I include Celine Dion in this as well, are given singing choices by their management that are more commercial than challenging. She speaks several languages. She never even bothered to try to sing a verse in Spanish or anything. So it was just sad. It was just sad. I wonder if someone like Luis Miguel or Celine Dion ever get tired of singing or sounding the same way all the time. I would certainly hope that as prolific artists and successful artists as they are, they would allow themselves some challenges. But sometimes their recording labels, their management go for whatever is safe and whatever is tried and true and whatever is going to make them a ton of money. Anyhow, that's my very disorganized rant on this particular song. I know that a lot of people love the way he sings. Again, I think he has a gorgeous voice, but he has an on and off voice. That's it. He's either singing or he's not. And that's all I want to dive into because I don't want to bore you with these details. But, again, music is important to me. And I am grateful for the fact that some of you found the duet pretty bland. And that's hopefully they'll come up with more interesting projects. And I think this is a good point to end today's broadcast. As always, I am grateful for your company. I'm grateful for your support. This is a community-based projects, so your support allows us to be able to continue doing what we do every day, which is hopefully creating good connections. And before we go, I want to tell you a quick happy ending story. This morning, I got a beautiful message from one of our viewers who said to me something along the lines of, I had not been out of my house for months. And finally, I went to this outdoor restaurant that you've been talking about up the River Quale. And I had a wonderful time and they treated me beautifully. And I was so happy to receive that message because not only did we feel happy that we created yet another connection, but this message also reminded me of the fact that we are all dealing with what's going on in the world at different stages of comfort. And the fact that I heard from someone who had not allowed himself or herself to go out to a public restaurant in months and is still struggling with it helps me appreciate how it is important that we all remain patient and kind and show empathy to people that seem to be still having a hard time with the pandemic. Let us all keep this in mind, if I may make that suggestion to you. And as always, please stay healthy, stay calm, stay happy, stay mindful of those around us, and stay in touch. Have a great day.